connects. Oh no, it's connecting to cloud server. It's doing both. Ah, well, hello everybody. Welcome to the recording. If you're watching the recording, it's like we're multi. Is this the new reality of being in multiple places at once?
Probably.
It's me. We've time traveled. We're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be on Facebook. Goodness, it's a new world.
I just want to say I'm still finishing my lunch, and there's a part of me wants to turn off my camera so you don't have to watch me.
Oh, I'm fine if you would like to do that and just enjoy your lunch without feeling self-conscious. I'm completely fine if you want to do that.
Okay, I'll be here.
Yeah,
I'll be right here, and I'll be back.
Well, we'll look at doing some check-ins shortly. I just wanted to
I'll
allow time for.
I'll turn my camera on for that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I wasn't sure what sort of numbers we might get on a Sunday, so I'm sort of feeling grateful in some ways that it's a gentle group, like it's a gentle group size. There's just a few of us, at least here in the Zoom, that we can just have time to hear each other's voices today, and really, and time for questions too, which really I hope is supportive for everyone as well. So I want to start again today with an acknowledgement of country. I feel incredibly blessed to be living on the lands of the Wurundjeri people, and regardless of what the system and the current COVID crisis may be having upon the social landscape, the land underneath that holds us is very stable. And so I'm remembering, as I connect to the land and the preciousness of my relationship with the land underneath me, how stable and solid and grounding and nourishing it is. And it sort of takes me out of that headspace where COVID is a crisis and lands me back into my body and in relationship with the land. So I'm so grateful to the original custodians of the land here in Australia, and would like to acknowledge all ancestors, past, present and emerging. I will also make it a donation again on behalf of Wise Women Rising, and I encourage you to check out the Facebook link that I left on the members page about where I'm donating when I acknowledge country. So I invite you to check them out and offer your support if you can. So today's session is session 3. It's the opportunity today to look a little closer at time banking and what time banking for Wise Women Rising is. I would like to show you inside the time bank so that you have seen it and you know what it is, and that we have a sense of starting to see how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. That's my hope today. So I aim to go sort of gently and quite simply, because I don't want to add lots of confusion. We've already tried to cover a lot in 3 days, in these 3 days. Like we've had the profile, getting our profile set up on Friday, and we've had yesterday's session to really start to get it connected. That's the village hubs, and I'm so inspired by the nominators who are showing up on the page with their courage and their leadership to nominate those hubs and get them started. So thank you, Cheryl, and thank you, Chris, and thank you, Annie, and thanks to the supporters who've been commenting under those offers as well. And I encourage you over the coming days to really sit with and align yourself with one of the hubs, or create one for yourself. Like by this time next week, I hope that all the members who have joined are now become part of a hub. So I would imagine that by the end of August, you've had your first hub meeting. I'd really enjoy for that to be true, and that you're having a sense of getting started with your hub and getting connected with a small team around you to support you. That's the idea. Support one another. So I thought we might start with a check-in around today, a slightly different check-in around our needs as women in business, women in work, women who have enormous experience of their own in what it's been like to be a working person, a working woman, or not that sort of working woman, but a woman at work, or a woman who has been in her own business. And so I want to start with that context and share and get connected a bit more to needs today. So I start with my own and then invite those who would like to get started with a needs check-in. And then I will also screen share in a minute and put up the needs list so that if you're still becoming familiar with nonviolent communication and the needs list, I'll pop it up on screen in a sec. So I've got some notes here because I was reflecting on my own journey as a woman in business and in work. And I can remember as a young woman feeling like extremely vulnerable and having to put on a big suit of armor. I put on a dress suit every day to go to work. I was in corporate public relations when I first started my career many moons ago. And the sense I had was armoring up, that my vulnerability and my uniqueness was something I needed to protect and even hide, and that my sense of my world of work was more about transactional and duty and obligation and making sure I was there on time and not getting punished or fired, like staying away from the dark side and attempting to, stay employed and do all the right things and get it right and do it right. And I had a bit of a transformation around work when my children were born. And I started to look at how else could I have a relationship with work that would be more life-serving. And so moving from, I guess, what my experience in terms of a need word, it would have been worth. And that where I'd come from was a place where I didn't feel very worthy and I didn't feel very safe. That I had to do all the right things just to be approved of, to stay safe, to stay in my employment and my work life. And then moving towards, actually, I think I would like to embody more worth for myself around my work. I mean, I was a very young woman when I was having the worst of the world of work. But more to move towards more of worthiness. That's now the need word that's very alive for me, and worth. And that I have an intention of leaning into compassionate courage and self-authority with building my precious work in the world. And that means honoring my uniqueness and my vulnerability, and even becoming skillful at vulnerability. That was something that I learned from one of the NVC trainers late last year, skillful vulnerability. And I just went, oh, yeah, that's what it is. For me, it's actually how to show up in a way that I can be with and own and be self-responsible for my uniqueness and my precious work, and be able to be strong enough to offer it as a gift. So I probably spent more words on that than I was intending, but the word worth really resonated with me as a sort of core story, a core need, where I've journeyed from a place where I didn't have that strong sense of worth around my self-expression and my work, to journeying more and more towards having a sense of worth and authorship, self-authority around standing for my work and authoring my way forward in a way that's compassionate and courageous. So thank you. I sat with some ponderings on that for the last little while, and I'm grateful to have a chance to share it. And this doesn't have to be for everybody. If you're not ready to share what's alive, this is just an opportunity to check in, like even just to speak openly about what's been your relationship with your work life, your business and work life. And maybe just to say a nutshell about, have there been things that you've mourned or things that you're intentioning towards now for yourself? Would you like me to put the needs list up so you can have a moment to sort of sit with the needs list? I'm happy to do that. Let me just grab that. Okay, so let's just have a couple of minutes of landing in our bodies and reflecting. Just give me a little wave if you sort of feel ready with what you've when you've reflected and ready to share. If you're watching on the live stream or the recording, I do encourage you just to be doing this same exercise along with us, like choosing one of the needs or a couple of the needs that really stand out to you, like just feeling into the words and the page and how, if there's anything that really stands out to you, and just see if there's something of a story for you behind that need word, and if it informs something for you about your relationship with work and living your purpose. I noticed as the page opened, I had a big hit from integrity. Not only that it seems to be sitting by itself as a heading, but that it actually really speaks to me about being more in integrity with myself about the work that I do now, that it feels such a natural expression of who I am more than what it was when I was a young worker. Would anyone like to just have a go at sharing where they are now? It can be a work in progress, of course. Yeah, thanks, Chris. I'll just minimize this for now, and you can let me know if you would like me to revisit this page in a little bit.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I'm talking through my phone. I really like this little exercise, Karen. I enjoyed just now putting a bit of attention to, actually I've ended up with something of a timeline of my work history, I suppose, where in the first probably decade or so, it was about survival and security. Survival just as a new, I was new as an occupational therapist and trying to survive in a world where I didn't know as much as people thought I ought to know. And growth and learning, lots of growth and learning through the decades. And then there came a time when I was quite, I could see that I was sort of in helping professions, but I wasn't seeing myself helping people. I wasn't seeing any results really. And when I came across NVC, I started to see results and see people really being grateful for what I could bring them. And so my needs around contribution and actually recognition too. There was something delicious about, wow, I've got some sort of sense of I've got something to give and people are recognising that. So it was I like seeing recognition on the list of needs. I'm not sure if it's on yours, but it's something that I've come across a lot, that people actually enjoy recognition, being seen for what they've got to offer, and yet we have a bit of almost a judgment about it, like, oh, I shouldn't want that. But I enjoyed it, and now I've entered into a time where I've actually resigned from the kind of work that I had consistent income from, which was a government job that I enjoyed. And now I'm just really in an exploration phase of looking for balance between kind of worky type stuff and giving, but also giving back to myself and taking time to play. And I think there's a sense of wanting meaning there too, making sure there's my life is meaningful and not just kind of I get this image of my mum wearing her bowling outfit, you know, her white hat and her white dress, and going to bowls and going to golf, and I want more than that in my later years. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment, wanting to figure out what my next phase will look like, especially in relation to NVC and the skills I now have in sharing that. Probably me for now. I'll mute myself again, and back to you, Karen.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'm imagining that most of us want more than the white bowling outfit for our senior years. But gosh, I remember it. My dad's mum was an avid bowler at the bowls club. Yeah, my dad went down that path too and got a little trophy, I think, at one point. It's very sweet. They're sweet memories for me, and it's not how I'm visioning my way forward either. Would anyone else like to check in around this piece of curiosity, I guess, that we're having as a community? Yeah, Helen.
Thank you. This is really, yeah, I'm enjoying considering this. So thank you, Karen, for the opportunity. So I was also in the health sector, as Chris was, as she was explaining. My background is nursing, and when I think of my work, I mean, I worked clinically for 18 years, and predominantly in an area of nursing that was all females, which, you know, I'd be surprised if there's a male now, but who knows? And yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. And what I found when I think about masculine and feminine sort of energies, was there were the nurses who had their, I think, mostly the feminine energy, very nurturing, and, you know, whatever, you know, we think of what that is. The longer I went on, and the more senior I got, I found that the nurses around me actually had more of the masculine energy. And it was actually, and at that stage, I really probably didn't have a lot of masculine energy well developed at that point. So I found that incredibly confronting. And I had a few situations where that was actually really quite a negative experience for me. And I was, you know, highly sensitive child and highly sensitive person, and this was like, hold on, where's the nurturing gone? And I'm not saying that's everybody, that was everybody, but it actually shifted me from wanting to work with that type of energy. But the irony is that I'd got to a point where I'd had enough working clinically, and I thought, oh, I'm going to work in projects, and actually started a corporate career. So of course I just went into it more and more. But through that whole process, I was able to develop more of my masculine side. And I feel that in my later years, I'm hopefully, and there's still, you know, I think it's, for me, it's an endless journey of creating that balance that I can have. So when I think of, you know, words of needs, if I can have the self-sovereignty. Now, I would never have thought of myself that as a young student nurse, and probably for many, many, many years after that. But I see that now, and I see that for me as being, you know, for me, a combination of the masculine and feminine energies there. And so and the meaning, which I think it was Chris or Karen or both of you who mentioned that, I have felt that all the way through. I mean, it was why I went into nursing, into helping people. And then with studying coaching, I was quite shocked that not every other entrepreneur seemed to have that as their core value. So that is something that drives me to the point where I know now that if I come across, for instance, you know, marketing or something, it doesn't appear to have that value, then it's like, not interested, can't go there, it won't work, it just won't work. I'm just not made like that if it's not meaning. And the same thing for work, you know, work contracts, that's been a big driver for me. And the mutual valuing that I think I saw on the list, or I made it up myself, I'm not sure, that there's the value of contribution and energy exchange. And when I was in management, you know, some of my best teachers were my staff, and so much value, and I love doing that. And to me, with work, that's something that I really like to foster, whether it's within myself, with others who are my peers, and then if I, you know, have some sort of staff or people responsibility. Another one I want to say is also now creativity, because I never used to think I was creative. I can remember myself saying, I don't have a creative bone in my body. And I know that Cheryl's shaking her head. And it's like, oh, okay, I might not be an artist, so to speak, like Cheryl and whatever else, but I know I have creativity. And that is, you know, that's what drives me as well. So now with the corporate stuff, with the contracts I've had, I've moved from, well, what's come to me is this: there needs to be the creativity. That's also a driver for me, and what I think want to have and have had to a large extent in my business, and really want that to grow even more. And just mentioning the belonging, this is a huge motivation for me to be in this wonderful group, because I don't have plans of having, you know, staff of, you know, 20, 30 people sort of thing, but I feel the value of having a sense of belonging with like-minded people, and that's what I see with this gorgeous group. And yeah, the sustainability, obviously, for, of course, our hierarchy of needs in terms of food, shelter, etc., but also, and that's where I see the meaning come from it. I want to leave some sort of legacy, however small it is. I don't care how small it is, but I want to know that on my deathbed, I've said, you know what, I've given something. I've given to myself and I've given to others. Yeah, so they're some of the main ones that came to me, and I'll leave it at that. But thank you. That was really a lovely exploration. Thank you, Karen.
Oh, wow. Really moved hearing you sharing that. Yeah, big breath for all of us. I can guess that there's some resonance with that longing for meaning, contribution, yeah, and giving and creativity. I really loved that you bring that. and that sense of balance in your life with the energy inside you, that it feels in harmony. I really enjoyed hearing that masculine feminine journey experience of yours in that, through that lens. You know, that makes sense. And in fact, it makes sense to me in terms of some of the training with Sarah Payton, who talks about the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And I've been slowly starting to shift my filter to include more of that left and right brain neuroscience understanding of the left brain being the place where we're more transactional, and the right brain being the place where we're more relational. And that in fact, I would say that most of my work history has a lot of transactional in it and less relational. And I think that's one of the strong things that I'm standing for in Wise Women Rising, is that we understand transaction is a part of it, but to lean into the relational, to lean into the skills of compassionate communication and other things that support us to feel belonging. Because the qualities that perhaps got left behind when we became more oriented for profit and for survival in corporate Australia or wherever you may have been working around the world, there's a sense of, like, it became very transactional. In fact, I had experiences of being tricked, fooled, taken advantage of, those sorts of jackals, or those sorts of judgments about, you know, not always being safe in a transactional world of work. And that sense of moving into the relational builds trust, builds belonging and community. So I'm conscious about that brain science, and I had a slide to show you, but I've really enjoyed spending the time here actually. So I won't go to that just now, but I'll put it in the on the Facebook page with a link on our members page so that you can have a look at that later if you'd like to. I want to offer perhaps just one more, because I feel the depth of these stories, and I know that there's probably plenty that we could spend time on this as a whole session. But I do want to be mindful of getting to the time banking today. Is there someone for whom it's really, really alive to do as a last share?
I just wanted to say, firstly, with the left and right brain, that the thing that it's that difference between words and images too, and it's all to do with my need to trust, because when we're looking at these values, because it's that sense of I'm comfortable in the relational side, the images, that side that's linking, but it's that getting into the transactional and that side where the community support really offers something that can open me and brings in that sense of belonging, and it takes that relationship and that sharing to the next level, and that's what's calling me, and you know, that's what speaks to me in all of that. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Cheryl. It so speaks to my longing to have Wise Women Rising almost be like a healing place for us, like that some of our transactional histories around work and the way that money and business and those trading, those sorts of ideas have been done in society, and in a way that actually, you know, we've had things like money's the root of all evil as a, you know, those sorts of ideas, they're outdated. We don't need them. They don't support us. And I'm in a bit of a judgmental mind here about that, but I do have a sense that we're moving beyond those sorts of dichotomies, right, wrong, good, bad, and actually learning how to be relational and transactional in a life-serving way, not to make the part of us that would enjoy to earn from what we do feel like it's bad and wrong, or that we're under threat because someone's going to think that we're trying to take advantage of them. Those sorts of stories are outdated and need, you know, I think that's another reason why compassionate communication is so important to me, that I actually see that it's transformational to stand in a time banking space and relearn that sense of safety and trust about trading and being in a place where your hour is exactly opposite, equal and matching to my hour. So it's not a conversation about whether you're ready psychologically to be charging $3,000 and I'm only at $1.50. Or, doing it for free and like might one day charge $70. Like that's the sort of, like, we can be anywhere on that spectrum. But because that's been linked to worth, money has been linked to worth before, the relearning of like our worth is inherent and we're going to trade hour for hour is for me a healing opportunity. Or just an affirmation really centrally of our worth, and our mutual respect, mutual worth. So I'm wanting to just check my notes where we're up to. Oh, okay. So I wanted to visit on this, just on this subject briefly, the mission and vision of the organisation. I just want to take us there very briefly. Which desktop is it? Oh, this was the photograph. And I'll put, this is the image and this is the left and right hemispheres, and it's what I'll put on the Facebook page just when we finish. And learning Zoom, tried a few different things just then. It didn't do what I thought it was going to do. I'm going to choose desktop. Minimize. And here. So this is a draft of the mission of the organisation. And the mission is actually the how and what we do. So going back to our purpose, which I'm hoping is starting to sound really familiar, the midwifing of our precious work of wise women, to midwife the precious work of wise women. But as a purpose, like that's the bigger purpose, how do we actually do that? Like this is where we get more drilled down into mission, like how do we actually live that? And we've already demonstrated that we can do that with the retreats and creating offerings together and putting them out to the public to say, this is us and we're a collective and we can support each other to attend each other's sessions. And so we've tried it as a retreat. Now this is where we actually started with the time trading. This is where we began. Before we were doing retreats, we were doing time trading. So the mission has been so far, we are women starting purpose businesses around Australia. I've put in brackets, and internationally, because who knows where we're going. We exchange our time through the time trading exchange. That's the Wise Women Rising X is for exchange, Wise Women Rising Exchange, for mutual thriving. Together, we practice our values and midwife each other's precious work while we play, learn, and grow in wisdom, love, and personal power as we age. So that's a first draft. How and what we do. So in fact, I would include retreats in there too. So we exchange our time through the trading exchange and offer retreats, or, that could be an addition. And then looking to principles, which are what are the ways that we show up in living our mission? So principles are like, what are the things we stand for as we go about trading on the trading exchange or offering our retreats? And some principles here. I've taken the main ones. This is sort of a second iteration. I'm trying to support brevity, and I hope that we get together when we get together at the end of the year, we might revisit these principles, vision, mission, and that we take time to honour and share the journey, that including things like ritual and ceremony and celebration and mourning, embedding gratitude, those sorts of things, they actually are focused on the relational. Making decisions that are good enough for now, safe enough to try, that's focusing on learning. Together we are more effective for social change. And I actually wrote this morning something like, one small step for you joining the trading exchange is one giant leap for women's evolution. So I'm delighting in this sense of like social change together and the joy of that. Standing together in our vision, a world where wise women flourish, are respected, valued, and visible as they age, not in white bowling hats, unless they want to be in white bowling outfits, visible as they age, demonstrating a deepening of wisdom, gratitude, and love for all life, for the benefit of all. We'll have this sense of real meaning and purpose embedded in the vision of the organisation. So they're the drafts, that's where we're up to. I will stop share on that right now and just check in. Is there anything else alive to share before we hit the website? I would not in a physical way, I just want to take us there to get started on the next steps. Is there anything else alive to share?
I just have a quick little piece I wanted to share that I read that kind of, I think it has meaning. It will only be just a minute.
I'd love that. That's beautiful. I had a sense like I had to wait. I was so glad you've stepped up.
Yeah, because it's something that I read and it kind of pushed me forward a little bit. You might have heard it. It's a letter to Agnes DeMille from Martha Graham. There is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is one of you in all of time, the expression is unique. If you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, nor how valuable it is, nor how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours, clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You do not even need to believe in yourself or your work. You have to keep it open and aware directly of the urges that motivate you. Keep the channel open. No artist is pleased. There is not satisfaction whatever at any time. There is only queer divine dissatisfaction, a blessed unrest that keeps us marching and makes us more alive than ever before. I just wanted to share that.
Thanks, Jen. Who it was to Martha Graham, the dance from
to Agnes DeMille from Martha Graham.
Oh, from Martha to Agnes DeMille.
I'll send it. I can post it into the group.
Yeah, I'd love a copy of it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah, big breath. Yeah. Me too. Loving the blessed unrest. That's like that tension yesterday between the growth and the rest, or the growth and the comfort. It's the blessed unrest as we wrestle with the giving and the self-care and the beautiful. Okay, big stretch. Website time. Woo! Let's do a big stretch. I'm just going to briefly visit the website where we've started to build our profile, and I'll start there, but only briefly. I will put the link to the page that we're visiting in the chat when we get there. So I also encourage those of you who would find it easy to actually bookmark this members page, because one of the ways to get to the members page is through your profile when you log in. So when you log in up here in the right hand corner of the website, once you've set your login up and you've got your profile, when you log in, it'll take you directly to your profile, and then on your profile page there's a button that says members home. But if you wanted to, you could also just bookmark this page in your web browser. So it's easy peasy to come here. So today we're spending our time over here in the round window. Feels like I just had a moment of play school. Yesterday we spent our time over here in the village hubs, looking at the directory, putting our profiles in there, and we had a bit of a look at the library, and we started to work on our village hubs, which is extremely delightful, exciting. And the front office we'll talk about as we grow, as we get to a point where that becomes a bit more relevant. But you can send me an email if you've got ideas, or someone says to you, do you know if Wise Women Rising would be available to work in aged care? As someone did just the past week. So back here, Time Bank. So what I would encourage you to do, if you have the capacity to either be on this recording or be on this screen and also have your browser window open. So minimize your Zoom if you're in the room. Yes, Helen?
I'm going to ask if someone knows how I can move the lovely pictures of all of us, because I can't see what I think is the part of the website that you are referring to, Karen. I can see most of the word virtual and the M, and that's it. But if anyone knows how I can move all of us underneath so I can have a, do you get what I mean?
Yeah, you can just grab it at the top in the heading area above the person who's at the very top of your screen. I'm guessing it's you, just above your image, in that header area. Grab hold of your group of us, your group of photos, and drag it. It'll drop to the bottom of the screen if you drag down.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you? Have you minimized? Have you already tried to minimize?
When you say minimize,
I mean, when...
Sorry, interrupting, but
that's okay.
it's good if I can follow you visually, because I'm so visual. Otherwise, I'll have to watch.
I understand. Let me think. So when I'm usually in Zoom, I have a big screen with all of our pictures. I usually choose the gallery view, and I've got a big screen of Zoom with all of our pictures. And then when I go to minimize, I go to the top right, and there's a option to, or top left. Is it top left? I'm gonna have to exit. Just one sec. I'll come back out.
Don't worry. I can hear you, and I can watch the recording. If
when I'm in full screen, I just move my cursor to the very top of the screen, and I can minimize.
It just works. Sorry, interrupting you. I went out of full screen, and anyway, I was able to hook it. Yeah. I couldn't hook it before. Thank you. I'm right now.
That's excellent. It. You just exit out of full screen, minimize it all the way down, and then you'll get the option.
Work for you?
Not working for you. If you point your cursor right at the top of your screen, do you get the option to minimize out of full screen?
I've got exit full screen.
Actually, Cheryl, what I did, just remembering then, is I went then to speaker view. So I had the main screen on the left side, and then only Karen, because she was the one talking at the time. And then I was able to drag her down to the bottom underneath, which is what I've got now.
Speaker view works. That's good knowledge. Speaker view.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, excellent. How's that for teamwork?
Woohoo!
Yay.
Yay. All right, back to screen share. Very happy about that. More learning, love learning. Okay, here we are. Actually, where have I put? I'll go back here. Here. Okay. So just let me know if you can't see where I'm now pointing. I'm here in the time bank. Yes? Okay, great. Awesome. So this is the button. If you're not with us at the moment, this is the button. So if you come to the website, if you don't already have a time bank account with us, we're going to hit apply. And this might be a time for those of you who have got a Time Bank account with us to take a bio break or have a rest, and just follow along if you're curious to have a new look at the Time Bank, because I have made some edits to it of recent times. So here's our application form, and it just basically will take you through. We'll take you through the steps. I'll let you read all of this when you click through to it, and you just hit this let's go button down the bottom, and that will open it up, and you can start to fill out the different first name, okay, surname, and then it will give you email address. So what it's going to keep asking you for is postal address for accounting. Would you be willing to tell us who invited you? Oh. So yes, it should only take like 5 minutes. So this is bio break time. I'm just going to swing back to the beginning and reload the page. So you know how to get here. I'm going to go back and point at the home page so you know where you're going. Screen's taking a minute to reload. Have you got browser windows open? Yes. Okay, and Cheryl, are you on the form? Have you found it? Oh, can't hear you.
Yes, doing it.
Okay, brilliant. Awesome, thank you. Just wanted to check. So, okay, that's their application, and it will only take a minute or two. So we can pause and just give you a minute so you can step through it, and then what we'll do next is actually, because today what I'll get is a list of your emails with those applications, and then I'll go to the Time Bank and set those accounts up for you, and then send you the details in the next day or so. So should only take a couple of minutes to put the application in, and then I'll be able to build your account for you. It says, thanks for applying to join us as a member of the Wise Women Rising Trading Exchange, a time bank that offers so much more than a bank account. We imagine it more like a one small step for you, one giant leap for women's evolution, growing an alternate system of exchange where we truly, unequivocally value the role of wise women, support each other's work. So I won't spend more time here. I just wanted to make sure that you were all able to find it, that the apply button lives on the members homepage, just in the circle there. Yeah.
I go in, I'm logged in. In fact, I logged out of the whole thing and logged back in to make sure I was doing everything right. And then I tried to log into the Time Bank, and it said I had the information wrong when it was exactly the same as what I'd just logged in with. So I don't know what to do.
Okay, yes. So did you hit the blue apply button up the top?
Oh, I should have gone apply. Yep, cool, good clarity, thank you. I just automatically, whenever I see login, I go straight
there. Yes, that's why I was trying to make it clear. Ooh, I'm dancing around with the cursor here. If you do not have a bank account, you'll need to apply for one. So this is the button here. That'll take you to that form I was showing you. Got it? Awesome. And then the login button is for if you already have your bank account, it will take you to this page, which is where Cheryl just went, I'm guessing. So this is the login entry to your bank account, your Time Bank account. And once you've signed up and I send you your login, you'll get one of these. WWRX with a set of numbers behind it, 00067889, which number you are, and then a password. And I'll let you know in the email what your login password is as a temporary password, and then you'll need to go in and within a day or so update that to your password of your own choice. And I really recommend you do that straight away, because we've had issues with people taking more than a couple of days to come back and set up their own passwords, and that it's actually the temporary password doesn't work anymore. So we've had to go back in and fiddle around with it. So I just highly recommend when you see this email from us, from the trading exchange, to jump in and update that temporary password. And then once you have your login details, log in, and it looks a little like this. I'm just going to move your photos around too. So I think because it can look a little overwhelming because there's a lot here, this is actually, it says here in the top, trading account of the Wise Women Rising Administrator. This will say trading account of and your name up here. And then you'll see in this area here at the top, in the middle, some of the latest offerings. And over here on the right-hand panel, this is where I recommend coming back to read again and again so that it starts to make sense, because it will take a little while to get familiar. And I would like to imagine that we'll have some time aside where we can have like a members get together to brainstorm and practice putting our transactions through and stuff like that. So please ask on the members page on Facebook to, hands up if you're needing support on the trading exchange, so that we can actually get together and just jump on Zoom and talk through any challenges you're having. So the time bank rate of exchange on our platform is 1 hour equals 30 credits, and half an hour is 15 credits. So that simply means that if when you get your first gifted 5-hour package, all new members will get 5 hours as a package welcome. You'll have 150 credits in your account to spend. And that's so that you're encouraged to request some support from someone, request some time with someone, because you know how enjoyable it is as someone who offers work to have someone contact you and say, would you be willing to spend an hour with me? I'd really enjoy to. You know what that's like? So I really encourage you to be the one who reaches out and says, with your credits, would you be willing to spend an hour? I would enjoy to learn more about what you do and perhaps have a session with you. Yeah, that's the reason for the 5 hours of credit, to encourage you to start that process of reaching out and requesting for your needs around what you feel alive to ask for, because that's a practice. It is a practice to ask for our needs to matter and request what we might like, especially in this realm, I think. And then a couple of key important notes. The seller is always the one who puts the transaction through. So it's the seller who puts the transaction through. And then here are the 2 steps that I think will be the most, in terms of have a good poke around in here, you can't break anything, but to go directly to the 2 things that are the most important is you need to know the account number of the person who's your client to be able to put the transaction through. So if you come up here to where it says home, trading, users, you can do a users search. Did that click? Oh, yes. and just search all. Oh. No, that's no good. Come back. How did I-
Karen,
Yeah. Use.
as a user,
Yeah.
I don't think I don't do it that way.
What way do you do it?
I don't have to know the name. I think I do. Where is it? I've actually got mine up, and I'm trading single transaction list. There's single transaction list, and if I click on that, I'm not logged into that one. Yeah, just if you go to the.
Can you show us your screen? Are you in Wise Women Rising or in Let's?
No, I'm in Wise Women Rising. All right, I can.
Yeah, happy for you to do. And that single transaction, yeah, that's what I've put on the side there in the notes. That's where to go to put the transaction through.
Yeah, I can. So if you, how can I? I've lost. Where's the screen share? I've lost my.
Is it not there for you? I can add you to a
can't.
screen share. Yeah, just one sec.
I seem to have.
Where'd you go? You're over here.
Just close that.
Make co-host. That should give you screen share.
Okay, hold on.
Because they're the two things that I usually do. Is I usually go look for the client number,
Screen share.
and then I go create the transaction. So they're the two steps, but Shares is saying you can do it in one step. So let's have a look.
Okay, so there's if I go to trading and then drop down menu and I come down to single transaction, there's the option of from the list or with a quick one. And if I do list, it should have all of the members so far. Come on. Why are you not doing it? Oh, why do maybe I've been in there too long and I need to, maybe if you can do that on yours,
Sure.
and see, because I seem to have been logged out. So
okay. Well, yeah, you minimize yours and all.
how do I'm going to get out of there. No, it's gone the wrong way. I need to stop screen sharing. That's what I need to do. There we are.
Alrighty. So we're back. Have you got my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of single transaction here, quick, I'll update that so it says single transaction list.
Well,
okay.
Do you want to have a go at that? I don't want to be.
I will. I'm heading there, Miss Shez.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. I know. I'm appreciating your single transaction, and instead of going to quick, which is where I was sending you, you can go to list. This is what you're recommending, Shez.
Well, I mean, it might be just as easy to go with the number because we don't have very many right now. But when we do have.
Yeah. So select who's your buyer. So let's say I'm buying. No, I wouldn't. No.
Shoot.
I'd be saying that Shez bought something off me. Let's say Shez bought a session off me. Then I would debit Shez because she was my client. And I would put in session of empathy or however we'd arranged it. And I just put in 30 credits, the 30 credits for the 1 hour and submit.
And then it gives the opportunity to check it and confirm so you can actually.
I'm going to cancel that right now. But that's the idea. And of course, we'll go back over this, I'm guessing, a number of times because I can get that it's a whole new way of, it's not just tapping your card at the checkout. It'd be lovely if it was that simple. I would really love that. And in fact,
we might get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Some sort of simplicity and ease, but this is what we have at the minute. This is our trading deck at the minute. And I will go in and edit this panel here. So this helpful things to remember, 30 credits, 15 for half an hour. So if you go for an hour and a half with a session with someone and you agree that it's an hour and a half session, you would add it up as 45 credits when you do the transaction and when you put the transaction through. And then you would, the seller would be the person putting the transaction through and then you would go to this trading. I'll add that. Go to the trading tab and go to single transaction. Whoop, single transaction list. So I'll even might put a screen share, some sort of screen photo to help with some instructions with all of that. It's just a brief look, and I'm really curious. First impressions, curiosities, questions. Would you like to, can I just open up and hear your voices for a minute and just hear how that's landed as a little demo? Can I check with you, Chris, first, if you'd be willing?
Thanks, Karen. Yeah, I appreciate seeing it on the screen. I'm very visual too, so just seeing you move around with the cursor, I can see what I would need to do, I think. I'll go and play with it straight away after.
Well, yes, I'll need to get your account details to you as soon as I can. So if you've done your application form on the website where it says apply, I will try to get those back to you this afternoon if I can. If you're here, then I will do that as soon as I can so that I can, you can have a play this afternoon.
Okay, thanks. No, I haven't done the application yet, so I'll try to do that bit this afternoon.
Okay, yeah, because Helen and Shez already have their account set up. So it would be, for those of you who are here, I can do yours this afternoon, Cheryl, and yours, Jeanette, too, if you would like. So just let me know. Yeah, it takes a little bit to just get familiar, but actually playing around, and it is a little temperamental now. Can I say that in a more compassionate way? Nah, it's glitchy. You know, it'll log you out if you don't keep doing something for a little while. It'll log you out. It's very wonderful for doing what we need it to do right now. And my sense is that as we grow as a community, if we can start to attract funding and other things, we'll be able to invest in our own platform and do fancy things where it's really easy and user-friendly. And it may be that we're also investing back in helping the CES to upgrade their system so that our use of it is easy. Who knows? We'll see what emerges.
Yeah, I that would be nice, really. I just want to say, I just want to create a bigger context that this community exchange system platform has been going for years, and there's people all over Australia, and I think it goes beyond Australia.
Yeah, I think there are. Yeah,
it's a global thing, and I've been a member of the LETS, which is Local Energy Trading Scheme, for I don't know, 15 years or maybe more, and in the Eastern and Melbourne region. We're actually called Melbourne Eastern Region LETS now, so we're MERLETS, and it originally started in my area with the Steiner School in Warranwood back, I don't know, probably 25 years ago. We had a ceremony to celebrate the creation of the LETS 21st back in probably 2012 or 2013 or something like that. So it's I'm excited that we're sort of joining in this alternative, you know, maybe not so, it's kind of new economy, and also not so new because it's been going for such a long time.
I think it'll become more popular in the new economy, inverted commas. And I've screen shared it there, Shez. Can you see it?
Oh, yes, yeah.
So Community Exchange Network is a global network of communities using alternative exchange systems. So we are part of something much, much bigger.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Yep, awesome. Thank you, Shez. And in fact, it was Shez's participation in LET that first sparked the curiosity, and then a conversation between Shez and Annie and myself about, wouldn't it be fun if we had a purpose women's organisation? Wouldn't that be great if we were able to trade? So here we are. Yeah, and all of what all the support that we're like as a community organization that we're getting at the moment really is really helping us have the room to bring this to life in and try it. You know, it's like we're in an exploratory phase between now and December. Let's see if using that site really helps us to foster the sort of community and exchange that we're after. And we don't necessarily need to use the community exchange system if it doesn't end up working for us the best way. Like, I'm not wedded to these different strategies. They're strategies that have emerged so far in service to this living of purpose that as a community that we're wanting to support. So sort of finished earlier than I thought I was going to. So I'm like, oh, that was much quicker then. Okay, so I have some what's next, and I wonder whether or not I step there for a minute to give you a sense of what else is coming up, unless there's more questions or... Yes, Helen.
Can I ask, so we start off with the 5 hours worth of credits, if I'm correct. And so, because I'm sure there's going to be so many offerings that I'm going to want to take up with those 5 hours. I think I've used one with you already, or maybe 2. If I get down to 0 and nobody has sought my offering, does that mean I'm not then able to to organise a session from somebody else's offering? Like, do I need to accrue? I'm
so glad you asked this question. We're very, very glad you asked this question. Shez and I are both going, no, that's fine.
Okay.
You can it's a trust bank. So if you're having Needs Alive and you have not yet had someone come and give you an opportunity to start earning time credits, that's perfectly fine. You go and ask for the help and you'll just go into negative time credits, and it'll all balance out in the wash. We're a trust economy.
Oh, I was going to use the word debt, and it's like, oh, I don't have to use that now. I love that. Thank you. And I also watched those 2 videos that you recommended, and I love the TEDx talk. So it's that trust, as you said. Thank you. That's really reassuring, because I can, want to binge on buying the shopaholic in me. And then I'm begging for others to buy off me so I can even the score, but I don't have to worry about that now. Thank you. Excellent. Love it.
And I know that actually in the heart of us all, there is that willingness and wanting to contribute and to give and to offer, and that as we do exchange and as we build our strength as a community, we will have opportunities to create more offers. And my thought was too, the reason for the 5 hours credit in the beginning is because you might not have an offer when you come to the community at first. You might not be clear what your offer is yet. And yet you're so inspired that you want to live purpose work, you want to learn from all the women in the community so that you can get up and running with living more in alignment with the work that you want to do in the world. You're just not sure what it is yet. So I want to be able to be in a place where women can come and join our community and resource themselves with all of us and learn and grow and strengthen and be in a place then in 12 months or 6 months or 18 months to then start delivering their own offer, and get the courage up and feel encouraged by all of us, and learn from different people, different things. Like, one of the courses that's alive in me to offer in the exchange in the next 12 months is Launch Your Pilot. And I'm hoping to record it so it can just sit in the exchange and be something you can, pay a half an hour's credit for and just go watch. So like different resources in the resource library. So I think there's lots of ways that we can support each other to build our courage to be ready to offer, and try new things too. Try new things as well. So thank you for asking.
Thank you. That's really reassuring.
Okay. Anything else alive? Okay. So these were my next suggestions. I have a little what's next with all my scribbles. And one is that we do our best to get connected to a hub by the end of August. That's my most precious request between now and the end of August, is align with a hub and maybe even try and have that hub have a meeting. And reach out if, like, I noticed that you've had a seconder, Cheryl. So you could reach out to your seconder.
Oh, really?
You didn't know? Oh,
No.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
You said to start it on Facebook. When do we take it from Facebook and put it on and say it's happening? How does that work?
Yeah.
And I've got a seconder. How many do I need before I shift it?
That's my request, is that if there's 3 of you, you have core group, and that is like, then you have the dynamic creativity of 3. Because 2, you might end up in just in that sort of paired share situation, and depending on what you're both interested in, you might off down a fairy path. Like, that's great too, which is, we're allowed to do that. That's welcome as well. And if you have 3, you've usually got someone who's prepared to hold the anchor of, like, what we're here for is, and, you know, it's practice. If you've got 3 of you showing up, then you've got that sense of being held by 2 others. You've got it witnessing happening in a container as opposed to a dialogue. So that's my request. Start with 3 and possibly grow to 5 if that works. But I wouldn't go any more than 5, not for the pilot anyway. Let's try and keep the groups small so that when we get on our Zoom group meetings, that everyone gets a chance to speak and everyone gets seen and supported. So that's the request. Thank you for asking. And yes, you have a seconder. So I would message your seconder and say hello. And
I just did it this morning, so I haven't been.
I know. How awesome is that? So, and Chris has a seconder as well. So that's really lovely. Like, you guys could message each other, and, like, you know, you could then put out a post every now and then, like, Chris and Shez are a 2 looking for a 3rd. You know, encourage people to consider, like, even write some of what you think you'll be working on in your hub. You know, encourage people to come and check it out. And my sense is that, you know, if we get to the end of August and there's only 2 in your hub, I would say start. You know, we're a small startup group. We're a pilot. So my request is 3. It's not a demand. If you get to the end of August and you haven't got a 3rd and there's 2 of you, get started and then see. You can still put those requests out for a 3rd member. Yeah. So yeah, that's the first request. The second one is this Wednesday at 11 a.m, this Wednesday coming, the 19th, we have a really great opportunity to hear from Mel Gelch. And Mel was part of the foundation team that started a co-op called Campfire, and they're in Australia, and they are guides for a new future. That is their mantle, and I just adore this group of people. They are creating some wonderful trainings and programs and learnings, and bringing skills like open space technology and conflict, healthy conflict, and a whole bunch of new local, new economy skills for a more enlightened way forward, in my evaluative speak. And I have a sense that her experience in setting up her co-op at Campfire will really lend itself well to our experience and give us some really good tips and sort of heads up about if we're going to go down the path of creating a co-op for 2021. And my sense is we'll have this conversation in earnest in December, that one of the sessions at the December retreat will be in earnest. Let's make a decision. Are we going to do this as a co-op? But I think between now and then we want to be just doing our research and getting people's experience, understanding other people's experience of what it's been like to set up a co-op and what sort of work is involved and how we'd need to structure and so on. So Mel is coming on Zoom, on this community Zoom room platform, the usual Zoom, Wednesday at 11 a.m. if you can come join us, if you can. And I'll record it and I'll put it in the members page as well. So you'll be able to access it if you can't be there. Okay, the next note I had was, oh yes, I have this vision for ease for us trading and booking time with one another. Originally, I had thought, oh, probably some of us have already got booking systems. Like I know some people have, you know, Acuity or other booking systems, and you know, some are really fancy and send reminder emails and change your booking emails and all that sort of technology. There's some people have really got all of that set up and some people haven't. And I have been sitting with curiosity, like, okay, because the bank account doesn't have really a very effective way. It does have back-end way of messaging each other and sending emails to ask for, and I would love it to be press a button, like scroll everybody's member names on the website and go, oh, there's Shez, I'd like to book with her. Click Shez's name, click button, go to send her a request this time, this day, or, you know, look at, have the calendar, have the system check her calendar, see when I can book with her and get a confirmation. So I am working on that in the back end of the website. It will mean upgrading the website slightly, and that will cost a little bit of money, and I'm willing to invest because I actually think this is what will support the pilot being successful. So I'm going to do that this week, which means one more step is required for our welcome sessions. We are one welcome session short this weekend, because once I've set that up, which I should be able to do in the next few days, it has a phone app. So literally we can pick up our phone app, go to the app, go click Wise Women Rising app, scroll members, book that event, book with Shez, ease. Fun and ease even. So that's my plan, but to be able to do that, I feel like I'm called to want to say, let's have another welcome session in 2 weeks. On Sunday the 30th is what I'm proposing at 2 o'clock. So that will give plenty of time for anyone who is not with us today and who is intending to have set up a membership and a bank account. It will give you between now and the 30th to set up your profile and set up your bank account and catch up with us who have been doing it as we've gone this weekend. And then on the 30th, we'll have a welcome session 4, which will be for everybody, so we can get our heads around the phone app and do our first booking with each other. That would be my proposal. So unless there's a big clash for people in 2 weeks on Sunday at 2 p.m, I would love to hear some RSVPs and how that would work. I'll put it as an event on Facebook on our members page, so you can RSVP for me there and I'll have a sense of who's coming. Okay. So I feel excited to try that. I feel excited that there is technology available and all I need to do is upgrade the website we already have slightly, and then you'll all be able to become not only members but staff of the website, and then we'll be able to book with each other because we'll all be considered staff as well as members. And that will mean you can connect it to your own calendar, whether you've got a Google calendar or this calendar or that calendar, and set your own hours up, and then we can all book with you easily. And you'll have one of those systems, one of those fancy systems. 2020. That's your system so far now, Chris. Yes, look, everybody loves paper. I still love paper. But there is ease and technology available. So we're going to try both. Yeah. So you can still pick up the phone and ring someone. Shez, can I have an hour of time with you? And You know, if you don't know people as well and you love what they're offering and you just want to go, oh, I'd like to book with that person, I wonder if they've got any free time, then you can. And you can have that support of doing it fun and pressing buttons on your phone, because we seem to all like doing that as well. Alrighty, well, that looks like it. August hubs. Yeah, so, okay, so I have put, so let's get trading by the end of September. So let's focus on hubs in August, and let's be trading with each other by the end of September in the time bank more actively. So that's the sort of intention. Let's give this pilot a fair run, and let's get ourselves organized in our hubs in August, and then by next month be starting to trade with our offers. Okay, that's the vision. I'm in some sort of joyful, playful, I don't know what's happened. I'm here at 3:30 and I'm like, how did I get here? It's only 3:30, and I think we've done it all. I think it's because we didn't all check in the same way as I would have imagined we might. But I was holding time as very precious. I do want to maybe do a nice checkout where I hear all of your voices, and then that's it. We're done for today, I think. So is someone willing to start with how this session has been? Any takeaways, things that you're enjoying, whatever's alive for you? Cheryl, are you willing?
Really excited. Helen doesn't have to worry. I'm about to book her. I need some focus. I've got too much productivity. So it's exciting to think of all the other lovely things that are possible and just the lovely connections. It's really positive. So thank you. This has been really helpful, and just getting the banking stuff set up is great. So thank you.
Do you want to pass along, maybe? It might be nice if we just pass along to one another. It's useful.
I'll pass to Helen then.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, it's really exciting, and I like having some. There's some time element, some shaping, using the language I like to use, that bookends, so to speak. You know, the end of August for the setting up the hubs, and then the end of September for time trading. It's like woohoo, and then that gives a good 3 months of solid trading to allow time for the pilot itself. So yeah, very excited, and really love the idea of an app that's going to book in. I mean, if we had to use our own systems and that sort of thing, it'd probably, well, for me, speaking for myself, it'd probably be off-putting, whereas what you're suggesting, and thank you, Karen, for taking the time and the investment as well to set that up. So I really hope you're keeping a tab going and will be remunerated appropriately and quickly. But yeah, all very exciting. Thank you. Oh, I'll pass on to Shares.
Thanks, Helen. Oh gosh, where am I? I don't know. I'm a little bit tired. I'm going to have a surgery tomorrow, so I think I'm partly in I've got to get ready, and and I won't be on the call tomorrow because I'll be doing that. And yeah, I think having some sense, like, you know, the plan of focusing on the hubs, and then I got this, you know, spring into trading in September, like it's spring, so it's a good time to kind of get into action. So yeah, and I'll have to clear space on my phone to fit the app on. That's that'll give me something to do. I'll hand over to Jen.
Yeah, it's been great to see the back of things and see what the time exchange is all about, because I jumped in on the retreat and now it's more, the outside of that is more tangible to me. Yeah, it's getting me thinking about my offering and different things I could bring in and shaping it more. And yeah, it's just been lovely to hear where it's going. Let's hear about the making of these hubs. It's fabulous, and yeah, I'm really excited. I'll pass to you, Karen.
Okay, I feel a bit excited still. I think relieved that we've got through the 3 sessions, because there was some sense of like, how will I navigate this? Because last time I did it with lots of slides, and I've really enjoyed feeling more connected this time. But those slides were handy last time. They did set up a bit of the backstory, and so I think that the next iteration of welcome sessions, I'm enjoying what I'm learning about having offered the 3 sessions this time, and to see how it's landing. Yeah, I think there could be more storytelling, and telling myself a bit more storytelling in the welcome session, so there's more of a sense of, and maybe that'll come in time, because we'll be able to say, oh, you know, so and so joined the community in 2020 and has now 3 offers and has launched her own consultancy or coaching business. You know, we'll have some of those sorts of stories, I guess, down the track as well. What else is here? Yeah, I feel grateful for the support. I feel really grateful. Really. You know, I have a sense that this is an idea that we're all midwifing, not just me. Like, we're all taking some shared ownership in shepherding this idea into being, and I feel really privileged, actually, to be a part of it and to be supporting it to get on its feet. So yeah, there's a lot of gratitude here. Maybe over to you, Chris. That feels complete for me.
Realise I'm feeling a little bit nervous now. Oh, I think I'm muted.
Well, we can hear you. Now you're muted. All good. There you go. I can hear you.
You can hear me. Sorry about that. Just noticed I'm feeling a little bit nervous about the time trading, realising that, that might mean people want something from me. So, which of course is what it's all about, isn't it? It's just, it brought up that little piece of wanting to make sure I look after myself and manage overwhelm, you know, make sure that it doesn't turn into overwhelm. But I guess there's always the possibility of saying, look, no, not me at the moment, but here's somebody else who I imagine could give you what you're looking for.
Yes,
So
that's
I'm
beautiful.
liking that idea too. I wanted to just say I've got some gratitude in my mind here at the moment. I've been realising that there are others behind this, you know, this current time. Like I hear Cherie having been involved a lot with in the early stages of the Wise Women Rising whole idea, and now the time exchange. I heard your name again there, Cherie, and so I really want to say thank you to Karen and Cherie and any of the other women who were there months ago birthing all this.
Yeah, me too. I haven't done it by myself, that's for sure. Thank you, Chris. And just as a reassurance, when I said you can set your calendar, up to set your own work hours, you could just have 2 hours a week put aside on a Thursday afternoon, that sort of calendar, and like really minimize it if that's all that you have available in your week. And so once it's booked, it's booked. And then, so someone would have to look at your calendar and go, oh, maybe next Thursday or the Thursday after at 2 is the next time Chris would have an appointment. So, you know, that you can set up your calendar to support your needs mattering. Yeah, so thank you for sharing that reservation about overwhelm, and that it points to ways that we take care of ourselves as we do this. It's central. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this time again together today. I have this appreciation of the community buoying me along to keep creating and to keep dreaming, and to have a sense of support and companionship in creating this wonderful emergent community. And I definitely want to name Cherie and Irene and Kat Bailey and Annie Holcomb for those meetings at Grace Revolution that she gave us time to be in her studio together, and such generosity, and Helen for coming in and really supporting the org pod to get started with Bridget and with Jennifer, and just some of the sense of willingness and curiosity that's here with you know, willing to step forward, willing to start a hub, willing to think about what my next offer is with a bit more clarity. You know, that's so beautiful to hear. I feel lifted by our time together. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow at midday for the community call if you can make it, and if not, we'll talk to you real soon. Bye for now. Bye, everybody. Bye.